Welcome into another episode of Ravens Reports. We got some really interesting news straight from Lamar Jackson himself and an update on the 2024 NFL schedule release and some comp picks updates and much more Ravens news. So let's go ahead and dive right into the content. We don't have a ton of time tonight to add all the edits and stuff that we normally do. So we're going to go rapid fire and keep you up to date on all of your Baltimore Ravens news. Let's dive right in. At number one, the big time update here. Lamar Jackson. We know there was a lot of suspicion of Lamar Jackson coming in significantly lighter than he has in years past. I mean, he looked significantly leaner. His frame, his face even looked a little bit leaner coming into the offseason workouts. And that was confirmed by Lamar Jackson himself today whenever this clip came out right here.
Lamar Jackson is definitely 2019 MVP season slim now. It may get spooky. Oh, definitely. I was 230 2 years ago. I was 215 last season, but now I'm like 205.
Lamar bulked up in that 2022 season, had a really nice start to the year, then got hurt with that injury. In 2023, Lamar Jackson was at 215 pounds, so a little bit lighter. And now Lamar Jackson is sitting at 205 pounds, which he kind of refers to him being, a little bit closer to that 2019 MVP season. One of the exciting aspects of Lamar being a little bit lighter this year is, of course, the speed. Lamar Jackson's going to be fast regardless, but in that 2019 and 2018, those two seasons where he was just lightning in a bottle, I mean, if he found a seam, he was going to take it. That hasn't necessarily been there as far as the breakaway speed the last two seasons. Lamar's still fast. He can still get the edge. He can still break big runs, but it wasn't the same as when he was a little bit of a lighter frame. And so that's the upside of Lamar being a little bit lighter. Plus, what the Ravens strength coach said just a few weeks ago about the exciting aspect of being able to add some more lean muscle to his frame just to make him that much more of an effective football player. Plus, it's a little bit less strain and weight on the joints. You're going to feel a little bit lighter. You're going to feel a little bit better. But the downside is a little bit less mass on your frame to absorb some of the contact that Lamar Jackson has taken over the years. But if you're more elusive and you're leaner and faster and avoiding some of those big hits, that can be to your advantage as well. I'm excited to see the 2024 version of Lamar Jackson. 2019, he won that MVP around 205 pounds. And then in 2023, another MVP at 215. So really excited to see what Lamar Jackson comes in at this season. He's going to have a big year, especially in the second year of this offense with Todd Monken adding Derrick Henry, Devontae Walker, and other guys. At number two, that brings us to Devontae Walker and what John Harbaugh said about him today in an interview with Rich Eisen. Here is the audio clip.
Best football in front of him, I would say. MAC guy, Mid-American Conference guy, originally Kent State. Always respect those guys. They come up the hard way. And then he transferred and went to North Carolina. And then it depends. It's a great question. And, we just had this conversation with my coaches out here on the practice field today with our phase two stuff. It depends how ready he is to do the things he does well. And the things he does well is run well. He can run. So if he can run and run past coverage and make plays downfield and then stop, and when people play him deep and stop and catch passes and get upfield, and just start with that, and then with the over routes and the crossing routes, and push the coverage out and expand the coverage with his speed. If he does that well, then he can build everything into that. So that's gonna be my conversation with him later today when he comes in.
Fantastic.
He said, let's start with the speed, the crossers, the vertical stuff, and then develop the other things, the other more intricate routes, running ability, and that stuff, right? But you're going to be able to, that speed plays in the NFL. You're going to be able to run away from guys when you're running in the 4.3s, and then you add the fact that he has those long arms, the big catch radius with a 6'2 frame. Really excited to see what Devontae adds to the offense. But he's also straight up honest in saying that, he's not a complete player with a full route tree, but he's going to get on the field and help us contribute with those crossers, running away from guys in man coverage, getting open deep vertically. That's really exciting to hear from John Harbaugh. And then he also talked about the running back market. They said that in free agency, remember Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, some of these other top running backs went off the board of free agency within the first few hours. Man, these guys were getting signed left and right. All the top backs, teams were really pursuing these guys. Derrick Henry was one of the last ones remaining, and John Harbaugh said That worked out for them because he was their top guy. Derrick Henry, the former, rushing title holder, a former 2,000-yard season, all-pro, Pro Bowl player. I cannot wait to see Lamar Jackson, especially with a little bit of a leaner, lighter frame on the RPO, the hard play action. Man, this run game is going to be potent, and teams are going to stack the box, pay attention to Derrick Henry. Then you got Lamar Jackson that can threaten the edge. Then you got, the other playmakers on the outside that can run past you. This is going to be a fun offense in 2024. At number 3, the NFL has an update on the schedule release. It was supposed to come out this week, but it was reported now that it's being delayed to, I think it was May 15th. I just really want to see this schedule so I can start to plan some trips and some games and get all excited, break down the schedule with you guys with some predictions. All I'm saying is the last 2 years we did some predictions, man. We were pretty close. I think we had the Ravens going 13-4 last year in our schedule prediction. And we hit the nail on the head on that one. So I just have a gut feeling the NFL is going to probably week 1 get that AFC Championship matchup. You're going to see it. The Ravens had the Chiefs on their schedule this year. We don't know the time and date and the place and location, all that stuff. But I got a feeling, man, they're going to want to get that on the books, on the schedule pretty early in the season. Probably a primetime matchup. The Chiefs and the Ravens are going to be looking to, kind of make things right in that matchup that we so heavily had our hearts broken in the AFC Championship in Baltimore. At number 4, we got some compensatory pick updates. It's looking like the Ravens are going to have quite the comp pick haul this upcoming year. The Ravens are projected to have a 4th-round pick for Patrick Queen, losing him to Pittsburgh, a 5th-round compensatory pick for losing Jadeveon Clowney to the Panthers, and then a 2-6 for Geno Stone and John Simpson. So 2-6, a 5th, and a 4th. That's going to play when it comes to the NFL trade deadline. That's going to play a big factor because the Ravens, we know they like their draft picks, but there's probably going to be a guy they're looking to shore up their roster with, add that another piece like they have in years past. With Yannick Ngakoue, Marcus Peters, Calais Campbell, Roquan Smith, among other players the Ravens have made moves for at the trade deadline with Eric DeCosta, I'm expecting another move. Last year, they had a deal in place with Derrick Henry before it fell through. They were trying to make that move at the trade deadline. So I think the Ravens are going to be very active in that market whenever it comes time. At number 5, the Baltimore Ravens' probably biggest threat to winning the AFC North in 2024, the Cincinnati Bengals, with the stud quarterback and Joe Burrow, let's call it what it is, with the stud wide receiver and Jamar Chase and that revamped offensive line with, Marius Mims and Orlando Brown Jr. and some of the interior guys like Kappa. They got a nice offense. The defense, we'll see. I think their defense might take a little step back, losing DJ Reader and some other guys, but they're going to be a good football team when you have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and good coaching staff, right? The Bengals, they just lost Tyler Boyd officially. He just signed with the Tennessee Titans, and I think that's a big loss for the Bengals because Tyler Boyd a lot of times was that third down chain mover, reliable, great hands, can play outside, inside. Anytime Jamar Chase or T. Higgins was dealing with an injury, Tyler Boyd stepped up and made plays, and there wasn't much of a drop-off. It's going to be a little bit different this year. Tyler Boyd, with him being gone, now they still got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, but that veteran presence, the reliability from Tyler Boyd is not going to be there in the offense. I know they got Jermaine Burton, some other young guys, but losing that veteran is definitely going to hurt a little bit, I think, for the Bengals offense. And by the way, that was another guy a lot of Ravens fans were interested in, including myself, Tyler Boyd, before the Ravens drafted Devontae Walker. Now that the Ravens have Devontae Walker with Rashad Bateman, with the contract extension, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, I'm really fired up for the pass-catching weapons that Lamar Jackson is going to have at his disposal this year, and then some of the weapons in the backfield with Rasheen Alley, Justice Hill, Derrick Henry, and Keaton Mitchell when he comes back from injury. So if you guys enjoyed today's content, if you got any value, make sure to leave the video a like. It really helps out the channel. Don't forget, to have your subscribe and notification bell on so we can keep you up to date on all of your Ravens news and content, updates, everything we got planned for you guys. You're not going to want to miss it, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Ray, when he wasn't looking, he ran me over.